And I'm recording.
I'm recording as well. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
You know, there was a time where I enjoyed like Wednesday because like Loki was on.
Yeah,
And I was like,
Loki. Right,
Loki. I get a new episode of Loki. This is gonna be great.
right.
Lots of cool acting, cool stuff. I mean, it's not breaking the mold, but you know, there was a complaint at some point that I thought, you know what, this Loki show is being too conservative. They need to do some more strange things. And then we got What If. And listen,
If you
did
thought
you
you
like
missed Loki before, you really miss Loki now.
Dude, I really miss Loki, and we're not getting anything else until Hawkeye, which we'll talk about at some other point.
Right.
So of course, I can pretty much guarantee that I know what you think of this last episode. You didn't like it.
That's the worst so far, I think.
I agree.
And I kind of had high hopes for it, to be honest with you, because when we saw the What If trailer, you know, this sounded like a really cool premise. What if Killmonger saves Tony?
Mm-hmm. So here's what the show did. This is what the show did. The show said, "What if Killmonger killed Loki?" And the real thing was, what if Killmonger used different manipulations to get what he wanted? So basically, if you watch the Black Panther movie,
right,
Killmonger did a lot to try to become King of Wakanda, and he actually achieved it. But at the end, T'Challa won and beat him and killed him at the end.
Right.
So the movie's like, what if Killmonger did it differently? Yeah. So it's not like we got a new, different movie. What we got was a reshaping of Black Panther using two different other movies. So we've got Iron Man, the original Iron Man, a little bit of a little bit of Avengers Age of Ultron, and then a little bit of Black Panther.
How does Avengers Age of Ultron fit in here?
The scene on the boat where they go get the vibranium and they meet Ulysses Claw, that's from Age of Ultron, and we see Ulysses Claw for the first time on Age of Ultron.
Did they ever have a meeting with him like that, or are you just saying him being in it?
No, so in Age of Ultron, Ulysses Claw meets with Ultron and Wanda and Pietro, and then Ultron steals the vibranium that he has.
Okay.
So and what if we get to the same boat and we meet Ulysses Claw the same way?
Gotcha.
So it's very little, but it's mostly is Iron Man and Black Panther.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm okay with them trying to blend the two together. It was just it has the same problems as the rest of the What If episodes. It's hackneyed. The scripts and stuff are just kind of slapped together real quick. We get 2 hours worth of storytelling in half an hour, and we never get any kind of closures. And it's just what they wanted to do with What If isn't working. And the only thing that's saving that show right now is the animation and the famous people having some dialogue. Like Don Cheadle was in it. Was Tony Stark in it? Well, not Tony Stark.
No, we've got Mick Wenger doing the voice of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Here was the really weird thing. I didn't recognize Pepper Potts in this episode at all because it's not her voicing it. It's someone named Beth Hoyt. And the drawing of Pepper Potts does not look like Gwyneth Paltrow at all.
No. If you look at Shuri, she didn't look like herself either.
She looks much younger.
Yeah, but she shouldn't be that young.
Wouldn't she have been about that young around the time of Iron Man?
Actually, you know what? You might be right. That's true. She will be a little younger. That's true. Good point. Yep. That's true. So I was thinking, why was T'Challa's father still alive? T'Chaka, why was he still alive? But it was an Iron Man, and he got killed in Civil War. So that makes sense.
Yep.
So the plot holes weren't as bad, but like I just don't understand what this is supposed to be anymore. Like okay, so let's take the premise off. Let's take the premise away. That I'm going to stop arguing that they need to bring in different Marvel properties from the comics. I'm going to stop arguing that.
Right.
Even just let's take the sandbox.
You don't even need to do that with this because this is what if something different happened with Iron Man and what if something different happened with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Right.
But okay, so let's do a couple of different things. Okay. Like for example, so Killmonger manipulates the United States government to attack Wakanda, right? like, why don't we get a super cool scene where we get like F-15 fighter jets and we get like, the military running in. How come Captain America isn't like
Mm,
charging into Wakanda, and like why don't we have like a bunch of people in Iron Man suits versus the Wakandans? Instead we get this stupid mechs coming through and we get this stupid scene. And it's a cool scene where the Wakandans are fighting the mechs, but
mhm.
why are we fighting mechs? Like, why isn't it a real war? Like, why isn't it a real thing? And why? And like, I don't get it. Like, the just thing. Like, if you just say, I'm going to use the MCU's like properties, the only things that happen in the movies, then it could still be more creative. So the whole
Right.
premise that this is they only go to use Marvel movie properties to do this, and that's why it's not working. I think that's wrong. I think it's just creatively bankrupt at this point. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many. Like, how come Killmonger doesn't get an Iron Man suit? Like, what? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Whatever. Like, I feel like every Wednesday I'm eating crazy pills. Like, I'm just like, no, and like I yell to the sky and say this is terrible, and I feel like no one listens to me about it. And this, I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I'm not even mad about them not diving into the comics on this one. Um, I just didn't like it because it didn't fit the format. I mean, you said it yourself. They were trying to tell a 2-hour story in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
To me, this felt long. When I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, they're doing a longer episode," because it felt long.
yeah.
And then when the episode was over, I looked at the runtime. It's what, 34 minutes. So it
It
wasn't long. It just felt long.
It was jam packed. It was jam packed full of a lot of stuff. And the stuff it was jam packed in, I
But
just
like
kind of felt like
it was also tedious. Like
yeah, it was
why was
tedious.
I thinking it was a long yeah, it just it was
It wasn't
not
an
a good episode.
enjoyable. It was not an enjoyable experience
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And if you go back and you look at what they did with the Doctor Strange episode, that was intellectually engaging. It was thoughtful. It was using like one property, but it was using it in a very nuanced way.
Mhm.
In this episode, I kind of just felt like how many like I feel like I'm glad they brought back we see Chadwick Boseman one more time as Black Panther, and we'll probably see him again. Um, but I just kind of feel like maybe they're hamstringed by the talent they can get for the episode. I don't know.
Well, then like at the beginning of the episode, I thought this whole episode was going to be about Tony Stark and what happens to him if he doesn't like have to save himself with the Iron Man suit at the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
and he doesn't stop making weapons. What is his life like after that? Because they kind
hmm
of set it up that way at the beginning. They had that whole press conference and everything, and everybody's asking him, has your life changed at all? And he's like, no, not really. And then they just go off in a completely different direction. I think if they had stayed on that, that could have been interesting to me and wouldn't have
yeah.
felt long. And maybe they could have done that in 30 minutes, but yeah, this was not good.
And like they just it just there was this whole thing that the whole episode was about Killmonger manipulating people to become the Black Panther of Wakanda, and instead I think the episode could have easily been what if Iron Man didn't exist, and the repercussions of that.
Right. Right.
And
That would have been
I
interesting.
that would have been it because like we haven't seen Iron Man in a while, the movie itself. Like, so
Mhm.
revisiting it could have been cool. We could have seen all the repercussions, like would the Avengers have existed, all kinds of stuff like that. And so yeah, it's just I hate beating up on it every week. Like I really do. I
Yeah,
do. I
yeah.
hate like every week I just we have to just kind of take a baseball bat and smash it. And like I don't think I don't it's not my fault that's like that, but it just is. And I don't think we're the only ones that think that, but
Yeah, yeah, I don't think
I don't
so.
know. I don't know. But I did have an interesting conversation with a few people on the best place to have interesting, engaging conversations. Have you ever been? Do you engage with Reddit
A little bit,
at
a
all?
little bit.
A little bit, a tad. Well,
Yeah.
let's take a trip, Mike. You and
Okay.
me. Let's
Alright.
go. We're going to take a trip to a post I posted on Reddit. It's in the show notes, and the post I just say that the what if episodes are terrible. That's my purpose. So here's what I say: reused ideas boring plots, dull creative decisions. They are just disappointing and bad. I was hoping we would get more creative properties from the comics, but it looks like the MCU is fine with eating itself. Okay. Now, I got 49 comments.
Wow.
So I got a lot. Yeah, I got a lot.
It's pretty good.
Let's you want to read one?
Yeah, go for it.
Uh Let's see. This guy named Benjamin Grimm on Reddit, and he says, I think that one would have seemed a lot better if it wasn't surrounded by episodes that did almost the exact same thing, only less completely. The trouble with having 4 dark episodes in a row is that the one that does it well just seems like part of the sludge of the rest of them. It didn't give it an opportunity to stand out. If it had aired between the first two, I think it would have helped. You know what? He's got a good point. It's like this is another dark episode. We've had a bunch, so maybe we're just getting kind of fatigued with darkness, right?
Could be.
Okay. Here's one. This guy is Danish royalty. Danish royalty.
Oh, wow. You got royalty.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's apparently this is the king of Danish. The king of
Denmark?
Dane. Is that it? Why is it Denmark, but then they call them Danish people? Shouldn't they call them Danish people?
I don't know.
Okay. I think people are looking far too much from the What If episodes. They're exactly what I thought they were going to be. He doesn't have a lot of good grammar. He doesn't have a apostrophe between the they and the are.
He's Danish. English isn't his first language. Cut him some slack.
Okay. And exactly what they marked themselves as. If a few things went differently, here's how it would have resulted. This was never going to be an introduction to in-depth worlds and stories that would evolve the main timeline. It's a cartoon exploring a few other ideas for 30 minutes a week. Danish royalty, that's a really good point. However, no, I don't think so. Like, just because it's half an hour doesn't mean it can't really dig into some of the stuff. And let's not forget, this came out directly after Loki, right? So that Loki episode says we have a multiverse now. And then What If is like, let's go through the multiverse, right?
Yeah.
Let's go through it. But right now the multiverse sucks. Like, it's like I kind of wish that He Who Remains would have kept doing what he was doing.
But I wasn't looking for this to have any impact on the MCU at all. I was actually looking for the exact opposite. I was looking for some what ifs. We're exploring different multiverses that don't need to have any kind of impact on each other. I mean, Doctor Strange's universe vanished at the end of his episode. These could have just been great, like put something out there and let's explore it for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and they're not pushed. But I think it's true what you just said, but they're not pushing themselves hard enough to explore, right? It's like, okay, so here's a great example. Captain Marvel left the MCU. She left the Earth in the 90s and didn't come back until the Endgame in 2018. She was gone for like 20 some years.
Yeah.
Where's all the stories about her?
Yeah, good point.
We haven't seen one What If Captain Marvel episode, and that's the one that has the most places we should be exploring.
She's been she's in that glass effect at the beginning of every episode. Do you think the next episode is going to be Captain Marvel?
Nope. I don't think we're getting any Captain Marvel. None.
Why would she be in that effect?
I don't know. She was at the end of that one episode where what if like the Avengers were killed and she just was there at the very end and that was it.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten anything. So again, they're not even using their properties right. If it's only supposed to be in the MCU, that's fine. But we're not seeing anything. Like, okay, where's the episode where Ant-Man explores the miniature cosmos where Janet Van Dyne was stuck forever? Where's the Janet Van Dyne episode?
That was the What If Zombies episode, apparently.
Okay, so here's Danish
That was
royalty.
our Ant-Man episode.
Yeah.
It was
here's no, it wasn't. It was terrible. So here's the Danish royalty episode again. He says Danish royalty says, but this show was not intended to be a major installment in the MCU saga. It was intended as a fun aside for fans who are interested in some different scenarios. If you don't like it, it's really okay because it won't actually have a big effect on the universe. It's not like Loki or WandaVision where it's part of the Load Destroy. And I said, but it's not fun.
Right.
And
exactly.
I said something like, it's like watching 12-year-olds at a playground talking about what if Bucky killed Zombie Cat with his shield. And then I said, it's boring and creatively bankrupt. And then a guy named Don't Call Me Beans, he says, you might have to bleep this out, but he says, I think that the real problem might be you're a bit of a guy.
What?
And then I said, yeah, and then I called him a guy. And then he said the difference is I'm self-aware. It got real bad. Like we got
Wow.
into a weird place with
Wow. He went there just from your premise?
Yeah, man.
Wow. You must
So here,
really like these what if episodes.
let's read another one here. Here's this guy, individual height 780. I'm not. If you can name yourself anything, why do you call yourself individual height 780? He says here the animation is good, the voice work is good, the stories are boring. They are asking what if to questions no one asked or even cared about the answers. I was
Mhm.
hoping for more interesting stories for underused characters from the Marvel Universe. I'd highly recommend Love, Death plus Robots on Netflix. Is you like to see compelling science fiction? Okay, he's talking about Love, Death. We might check that out. But he's right. He says here, I'll read it again. He says, I was hoping for more interesting stories for underused characters from the Marvel Universe.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what I just said. Like, we're just not getting it, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm totally okay with them just sticking to the MCU, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
make it good. Make it
So here's
fun,
one.
make it interesting.
Yeah. So here's one by Maple Lover Revolver. What a weird name. These got some weird names. Maple.
They sound
This person
randomly
says,
generated.
yeah, probably. This person says, what if the other half of the population were the ones who got snapped? What if Steve's side won Civil War? What if Black Widow never met Hawkeye? It's like they just chose all these random, boring questions. I feel like they came up with the plots they wanted to go forward with first, and the what if questions that suited those scenarios after. Wow.
That was a great post because their examples that they had are very much like what we got in the first episode of What If, which we both loved.
Yes, you are exactly right. What a great post by Maple Lover. So good. I did a re-up post of it.
Nice.
That's so good.
Yeah,
Like
that's great.
It's not a re-up post. It's when you it's not a like. It's an upvote.
Like upvote. Yeah.
Upvoting. Okay. Yeah. So good. All right. Let's get another
I
one.
might have to give her some. What's it called?
I'm not. Is it cost
Bling?
money? Because I'm not giving anybody anything that costs money.
I've got some stuff on Reddit that I can give.
Why
people.
did you pay money for it?
I don't think so. I think I just got it.
Here's one from Romanado. Anyone who was expecting this show to introduce new characters, set up new properties, and or be a huge impact on the entire MCU was deluding themselves. Well, I guess that's us. This show is based off the What If comics that have always been one-shot concept comics that almost always end on a cliffhanger or a
I just want to yell at this person. That's exactly what we wanted.
Yes, and the What If comics were one-offs, but they were awesome one-offs. These aren't.
Right.
These aren't.
Right. Your premise didn't say anything about them being one-offs. Like that's not our concern. It's that they're not good. They're not interesting.
No, they're terrible.
Yeah.
This one person says they're okay, not great, and not what I expected. But I would say they're. I think they meant I wouldn't say they're terrible. I did really enjoy the first episode, and I thought the Strange episodes was all right. Listen, it might be my profession. I do teach English. Hey, after you post something, read over it before you hit send. Just don't read fast. Just write it, read it again, just edit. 60% of writing is editing,
especially with emails.
Especially with everything. Like do a grocery list and then edit it. Like,
that's you're going too far, man. You're going too far.
No, I'm not going too far. No. This person
nobody needs to edit their grocery list. I'm going to override Jay on that one.
I want to give a shout out to my wife. She organizes the grocery list by aisles. So when she writes the grocery list, I know exactly which section I'm in. Like she puts all of it in the same section.
Yeah, nice.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like my wife's pretty great in that regard. Because I'll go grocery shopping and I'm like, oh, it's all in this area. Thank you. And it's just easy to check it. Yeah. Otherwise, she's not very organized. But with that, she is. Let's see. She's going to listen to this one day and kill me. So this person says, how is a zombie apocalypse a reused plot? We've seen zombie apocalypses.
I think I've seen zombie apocalypses before.
Yeah, like once or twice. Has there been any zombie movies, Mike? I don't know. It's just,
we've never mentioned Shaun of the Dead, have we?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We've never mentioned that.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay, this person says, too many people, this is called Don't Call Me Beans. Oh, so this is a guy called me. He said, too many people seem to judge things on a scale where the only choices are the greatest thing ever or bleeping terrible. He has a point, Ter. He has a point.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
why do you like
that's
okay,
actually a fairly good point, but I don't think it
but
applies here.
no, because okay, let me take you down a road here. You go to a restaurant, right? You spend $60 on your meal. And then someone says, "How was your dinner?" And you're like, "Mediocre." It wasn't super great, but it wasn't terrible. It
Mhm.
was just in the middle. And the person's like, "That's not good." Like, if I'm paying $60, I
Right.
want really, really good,
Yeah.
right? We're not getting really, really good. It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even looking forward to this Wednesday.
no, me neither.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, "Hey, it's a what if episode," and now it's, "Hey, it's a what if
I would
episode."
have checked out.
Yeah,
If we weren't doing this podcast, I would have checked out already. I would have
yeah.
been
This
waiting for people to say, "Oh, hey, that what if episode was actually good," before I watched it.
But we're committed. We're
That's right. We're
committed.
committed. We're doing this
This
for
one's
you.
from this is from Yoshi1358. This person says, "I know this threads go get flogged." Ugh, that's not a good term, but I kind of agree. Seems like most of the episodes so far have little to no substance outside of their gimmick and are just worse versions of MCU movies with bad pacing, inferior dialogue, and stories that end randomly without any other solution.
Nailed it
Time
with the
out.
bad pacing. Nailed it.
Yes. But time out though, I don't mind the stories having no resolution. That's not my beef. It's the worst versions of MCU movies, which
Mhm.
is 100% correct.
Right.
Oh, wow, he nailed it.
Yeah.
Or she nailed it. They nailed it. The only episodes I thought were decent is the Doctor Strange episode. That's it. Everybody keeps saying that. I agree. Yep,
I really like the first one.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's getting some heat. It's getting some heat on the Reddits. It's not like blowing up, but it's going there. Someone just posted on it though.
Yeah.
This person says, it's Swimming Wave 3060. It's just a fun cartoon where you take it for what it is. Plus, we even got a look at what an MCU Marvel zombies could look like, which was nice. The grammar's terrible. That zombie episode was absolutely garbage. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
We said like the animation is great in that episode.
Yeah.
The
But
styling of the zombies is great.
yeah.
The
The
story
story
is
was
terrible.
terrible. Terrible,
I
terrible,
mean,
terrible.
I'm on board, man. Do Marvel zombies in this animation style on Disney Plus, 12 episodes a series. I'm in, as long as they can tell a better story than they did in that one episode.
Yes, and they have the talent to do it, don't they? Maybe they
I
don't.
mean, they've done all these movies. They did Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They did WandaVision. They did Loki. They definitely have the
Yeah,
talent.
that's true.
I don't know. It seems like, maybe just something weird happened with this because they have Chadwick Boseman doing voices in these episodes.
Yeah,
So they've been working on this stuff for a while. I don't know. Something went awry.
yeah. I mean, and to be honest with you, with the money they have, with the creative talent they have, it could definitely be better. But what I'm thinking is that this was cooked in the can in a time where it was probably cooked in the can before Loki was even finished and stuff like that. So they got multiple things cooking at the same time, and then when it came out, it just didn't do what it should have been doing.
Hmm.
Which it is what it is.
Do you think there's any hope for them to pull out of this nosedive?
Ye-
They've got 3 episodes to go.
Yes, there's always a chance, Mike. I am an optimist. There's always a chance. And if the last 3 episodes are good, then we can say that ended on a high note. And maybe it will. It's always a chance. But the next 3 episodes have to be really good.
Yeah.
And the last episode better not be what I think it's going to be.
I
If it
mean,
is, it's going to be absolute
Yeah,
disaster.
I predict the last episode's going to be terrible.
Yeah,
But
me too.
but I hope not.
Yeah, just wait. If people are on Reddit a lot, guess what, Mike?
What?
We have a Reddit. We've talked about it for a while. We now have a Reddit. It's called Super Shot Sideshow. You can go to Reddit and type in the r/Super Sideshow, and there you will find us.
Are those called
And
subreddits?
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a subreddit.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now we have a conversation talking about what if. If you like this podcast and you want to speak have like a long discussion about the episode and we want to talk about it more, boom, it's right there. We've got links to a couple of different podcasts. Not the full podcast, but the small little edited podcasts
Oh, the
are
clips.
there. The little clips, yeah, we do. And I'm going to keep kind of working on this slowly. But please come to our Reddit and hang out with us. I haven't made Reddit community rules yet,
Yeah.
but I need to very soon because we will kick you out if you
Don't call
start doing
people
crazy
adopted.
stuff. Yeah, don't do that. No racial stuff, like and stuff like that. Just be nice. I think it's gonna be the nice thing to do.
Respectful.
Yeah, even I would almost say kid friendly. What do you think, Mike? Be kid friendly.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
could be
Spider-Man,
yeah. Let's
kids read
just
Spider-Man. Let's make a safe space for them.
yeah. What I would like for this place to be is a safe space to talk about the Marvel comic movies and the Marvel comics in general. Like, just let's get to these places. Like, make this a place where you can finally go and be like, I'm going to talk about this and this and this. And I mean, there's lots of places to do that on Reddit, but this is the only Reddit that you can go to that has an official Super Sideshow Reddit.
Yeah. Awesome. That's good.
All right.
The
So now
other
it's a
thing listeners should do is if you enjoyed this episode, hit the share button right now and tell
share.
3 friends.
4 friends. Yes.
Yeah.
And tell them, hey, this episode is talking about the what if episodes. These guys hate it, but also they're kind of funny. So there you go.
And they're right.
And yeah, obviously we are correct. Yes, 100%.
Right.
What's on the docket next, Mike? What's coming up next?
More what if.
Okay.
So we're gonna do what if from here on out until it's done.
Oh, we have a Thor Ragnarok episode coming out, right?
Oh, we do have a Thor Ragnarok episode. You're right. Yeah.
With a special guest, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Special
That's gonna be fun.
guest.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And then after
hope you guys enjoy it.
What's coming up after that? What's the next movie?
In Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
And so that's gonna be
2 hour. So we're going to do 1 hour at a time. So it's going to be 2 hour special episode. I'm going to make the show notes like you've never seen them before. You never seen show notes like this.
Yeah.
It's pretty much going to be the most obnoxious thing you've ever seen.
Well,
I'm going to break that movie down so bad this week, so good.
You'll have some downtime between now and then because we've got 3 episodes of What If to go through, and I took 0 show notes for this last episode.
I could barely manage it. But hopefully it's going to get better.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, you guys have a great week, a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.